we've made it very clear that if the competition is going to sustain itself in the future, that means the clubs have to be sustainable. So AFL Victoria invest in the VFL clubs now, and we'll continue to do that. The amount that we invest in those VFL clubs yet is into the future is yet to be determined. There's no doubt though that VFL clubs have the challenge of producing a viable and sustainable model in the future, but that'll always exist. Now, we have a view that and we do now, we'll invest in clubs that have a viable financial model. But if that's a combination of investing in a model that's viable and can go into the future, or you're propping up a club, well, I suppose that's where the controversy comes.
We started discussions just ourselves about all the possibilities, whether we could look outside of our group in Bendigo to find ways to make this go on. Once we sort of brought the major stakeholders in, it was pretty clear that the decision that we'd made that we certainly couldn't continue on was agreed by people that have been around the VFL a lot longer than us. It just got to a stage where we just sort of come to the amazing mutual on-field and off-field agreements that it had run its course. It's a hard one to really nail down. I'd say there's up to a dozen real strong reasons, but I'd just say the initial setup. And I think if we look at how the Bendigo Diggers were set up in '98, and I do understand we're a completely different level to GWS and Gold Coast, but the AFL's come in and gone bang, 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 huge investment, obviously a heap of players towards the expansion clubs, whereas as much as the AFL Victoria have invested heavily in Bendigo, and probably even too heavily at times AFL Victoria, some of the investment probably should have gone into a venue, whether it's a pokies venue or a function centre, something where the football club had a revenue stream away from the gate and sponsors and members. And as we know, VFL footy's gone past that now, and in the last 16 years, the club survived without being able to take revenue apart from game day. And if you look at the North Ballarat, if you look at all the other VFL clubs at the moment that obviously don't have the AFL connection, they've all got that pretty heavy revenue stream away from the game. Well, I certainly took the role up here believing that the VFL, and even I've sat in meetings with people involved in football at this level that believe there's a role to play in expanding the network that the VFL covers, but it simply needs to be done right. So there was just a lot of things that went against us to make this absolutely work, and at this level, when you are competing against these big clubs and you're a standalone regional team, you need absolutely everything going in your favour. Within our group, I've obviously been around footy a long time. I haven't been involved in a lot of different football clubs, but I'm pretty confident the culture we've got within this group is as good as any I've seen. And what else more can we do? We've got a support crew around us that work tireless hours, and as a playing group, they give everything they could. But the overall response was, let's fight it out, let's go down swinging, and let's surprise a few in the last 8 games.